Welcome to Crazed Performance Repair. I'm going to do a little bit of a rough video quick for you guys. I have what is a 2007 or 7? I don't remember. I'll have to look at the paperwork. It's a Chevy Silverado quad cab short box frame here, as you can see. So I have basically the entire chassis. Now, there's a couple caveats to this ordeal. That transmission is supposed to be going in somebody else's vehicle, but I'm getting their transmission. I get to keep pretty much everything else that's here except for some of the suspension stuff, but that's okay. I will just replace it with new stuff. What I'm thinking, this is a little bent. It was in a wreck, so the cab and stuff is no good. I want your guys' opinion on this particular vehicle, so leave a comment down below, of course. The frame is a little bit bent, just a smidge. So if we look at the back here, you guys can't see it because it's so minuscule, but this leaf spring is slightly tilted like that, just ever so slightly. So if I measure from that point to this point here, and I do the same thing from there over to here, there's a 1/4 inch difference in measurement. It's not much, it's very slight. The frame is bent right here, just a little bit twisted that way on both sides. So I can easily straighten it and then put a plate on here and get it all corrected to actually sit sturdy and solid. What I'm thinking with this thing, and this is where I want your opinion, is Resto-mod. Put like a 50s or 60s truck cab on the front of this thing, and then a 10-foot either wooden or steel bed on the back, and sell this sucker, right? But, of course, before I do any of that, I need to rebuild the engine. I'm going to rebuild probably the transfer case. There's a decent amount of metal in there. I'm going to check front and rear differential, most likely end up rebuilding those. And I'm going to keep the AC, the radiator, all this stuff from the 07, 09. It's a Gen 4, whatever it is. It's a Gen 4. This Gen 4 pickup, I'm going to keep everything as stock as possible on this, except for adapting a cab to it. And what I'll do is I'll adapt the cab to this frame. Not the frame to the cab to the frame. That means modifying the cab so it can use the original rubber mounts. And then I will make a custom flatbed on the back that will fit this frame. That way, if I sell this thing, I can sell it as capable of any part factory OE or Gen 4 Chevy pickup, right? Except for internally on the engine. The engine is going to be deleted. I'll probably throw a cam in it. I might do stroke. I have a lot of thoughts on this engine platform. I don't know what I'm going to do exactly, but I know I'm rebuilding the engine, so I might as well do it right and add some things. And then the transmission, of course, is going to be rebuilt. Everything will pretty much be fresh and new. It'll have dual exhaust. I'll get rid of the factory exhaust because nobody really wants stock exhaust when you modify the motor. I'll keep AC. I'll try and utilize the ABS controller. I'm going to try and make this thing as factory driving as absolute possible. So, I'm going to pull the engine and tranny and stuff out right now on video for you guys. And then, yeah, we'll talk about it down below, I suppose, in the comments. Also, while I'm taking this apart, this video is partially brought to you by me. I'm going to be my own sponsor on this video. I'm not going to throw ads on it. Because, not only am I asking your opinion, but I have a new thing on my website. For those of you who don't know, I am an GM AFM specifically, specialist more or less, where I just concentrate on that stuff all the time. I have a special bunch of products on my website for AFM exclusively. Now, I haven't been able to offer it until recently, but I just got into offering full delete kits. All I'm going to offer for now is the 5.3 Generation 4. So 07 to 13, some 14s, depending on mid-year model changes. In 14, they do have some DFM systems. Anyway, the AFM systems are going to be, what I'm going to offer is to get a delete kit for your 5.3. The price is higher than other websites for good reason. The other websites only offer the very basics. I'm offering all the way down to the oil pan. So, when I do an AFM delete, I pull that oil pan off, replace the leaking oil pan gasket because it's almost always leaking. That way, I can pull the oil pump off of the front of the unit there. And then when the oil pump is off, you can replace the chain. I include a high performance chain. It's a thicker link chain than some of them have. Not all of them have the thin link chain. So it depends on what you have, if you have a thick one or not. And you replace the tensioner with an actual damper. So I offer a bunch of parts on top of what the other companies do. And I'm also going to include, I've decided now, I think I'm going to include oil filters with it as well. I can't include fluids, too much to ship. You can just buy them at your local store. But aside from fluids, it'll be everything you need. Even these exhaust manifold bolts that always break off on these darn things. Every single one of them has broken exhaust manifold bolts. So I'm going to include a bolt kit with it as well. So be sure to check that out on my website. And support me if you can. If you're doing a delete on your own, you might as well support me and give me a little extra change so that I can future-proof my business. What I'm going to do with the proceeds, every dollar I make on these kits is going towards the future kits. So right now, it's only the 5.3. I'm going to go to the 6 liter next. That's a simple thing I can do real quick after I sell just a few of them. Then after that, I'm going to start expanding into the LT-based engines where they have the direct injection. So I'm going to start offering those kits. And as time goes on, I'll just keep adding more and more kits. The more I can build my inventory, the better it'll get. And of course, the reason I need to build inventory is I have fast shipping. So be sure to check out my website, and we'll get back to my ending comments on this video since the motor is probably pulled by now. Now you might be thinking, why would I waste my time on this old frame doing this? Because of that right there. You see all that oil and sludge? So you see all that oil and grime. This particular customer with this particular engine, okay, this thing had huge oil leaks for a very, very long time. Because of those oil leaks, it's all degreased now because I spent time degreasing it. But if you look at this frame, this gray right here, that is bare metal. It's not rust. This here, this reddish stuff, that is actually rust, but it's not very much. It's not, like, I can't even feel it. It's not pitted at all. And then if I go all the way to the back of the frame here, where it's going to be the quote-unquote rustiest, right? The most rust you're going to get is right over here because oil didn't get up here. And even this, I can barely feel the pitting and marks. So the reason I'm putting the time and energy into this thing is when I first seen this customer come into my shop, he originally had oil soaked so far into the back of this thing that I kid you not, this trailer receiver had oil on it, and so did the back of the tailgate. So this thing was leaking so much oil, it was flaring around with the wind and just soaking everything in oil. There's an example on the exhaust, actually. You can see, look right there. You see the black on that's the muffler itself? That's because oil was so thick on there, it was always wet and just constantly burning. So there's so much oil soaking everything that this frame is in absolute perfect condition yet and is completely worth salvaging. That's why I can't justify throwing this thing out. Now, I'm obviously going to have to start degreasing this, but I got to plug some hoses and stuff first. So I just wanted to give you the gist of why I'm doing this, why I'm spending the time on this unit, and why I wanted the truck from the guy, because I knew how good a condition it is. I mean, look at this ABS module after cleaning it. The thing looks brand spanking new. How awesome is that, right? So there you have it. There's the plan. I have a thought of a Resto-mod. Those things are worth quite a bit of money. If you happen to be in the market for something like that, I am going to be, when I do it, it's going to be probably a long time from now. But, well, unless somebody wants to fund the thing and actually have it for themselves. I'm going to put a cab on here, and I'm going to leave it unpainted, but I'm going to paint the frame and everything, right? I'm going to have the engine rebuilt, the whole 9 yards. I'm just going to leave the body unpainted. That way they can see any damage that was done to it. I'm going to find something in the back of in the back 40 of somebody's farm lot with a cab that is in really good shape, maybe has a dent somewhere kind of thing, very minimal damage, very minimal rust. The paint looks horrible, but it hasn't been painted, hasn't been touched. That way, whoever gets it knows exactly what they're getting. And if they want me to paint it, obviously the price of the project is going to go up substantially, but I could prep it and then send it to get. I don't want to paint it in here. I really don't want the paint fumes everywhere in the the overspray and the painting's a nightmare. I've done it many times, but I don't like doing it. I don't do it for customer vehicles. We'll put it that way. I do it for my personal stuff only. So that's where we are. I'm going to leave it there. If you like this video, be sure to smash the like button. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video where perhaps I might be working on this. I don't know. I still got an F-150 turbo kit on queue that I haven't even started editing. A lot of projects to do. I've been so busy I haven't got half of them done. I'm just working my arse off over here. That's why I haven't been posting much. Still, just trying to catch up from moving. So, there you have it. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.